Hello everyone, welcome to Jolly Molly TV. Today we're going to do another fun block in Kimberbell's Pumpkins and Potions ladder quilt project. In today's video we are going to work on this block right here that's called Real Spirit, that has a cute ghost that says "Ghost have the real spirit." So let's go ahead and grab our plastic pouch system or plastic bag system that you have labeled Real Spirit. And let's head over to the machine and let's get started stitching. Okay, we're at the machine. I have a bobbin with white thread down below. I have my large hoop, 9.5 by 9.5 inches. And I put a piece of poly no-show mesh stabilizer in the hoop. Then I need you to pull your plastic pouch system that you have labeled Real Spirit. That's the block we're going to work on. And so I've got my background fabric here. Then I'm also going to grab my 9" by 9" piece of batting, which is here, 9 by 9". And I'm going to put that there. Okay, so now I'm going to put the batting off to one side. I need to get a thread that will blend in with this fabric that I have. Now I'm using my stash for this project. If you have a kit, you're going to have a totally different piece of fabric here. So what you need to do is to find a thread in your stash that will match, blend in with your fabric that you're going to be using for this block, and put that in the top of your machine. So we will be all ready to stitch out the first several stitches all the way up to the quilting. I'm going to go ahead and quilt it in the same color because I want the quilting to blend in. We have a really cool applique thing we're going to do here with some orange fabric and stitch a ghost on top and a saying on top of that. So I really don't want the quilting to conflict too much with that. So I'm picking a thread that will blend in all the way up to that step. Okay, so I'm going to put the fabric off to one side and let's go to the screen cam and let's load the design. Okay, here we are. So now we're going to go to Embroidery. We're going to go to the flash drive. Going to go to Pumpkins and Potions. And I'm going to go to the quilting design. And I'm looking for Halloween 8. And I'm looking for the 8 by 8 size. Here it is right here. There we go. That's the cauldron. That'll be fun. So I'm going to click Set. Brings it in. It's all centered. I don't have to do anything. Now I'm going to click Add. If your machine won't add, don't worry. You're going to stitch this out first. Clear your machine memory and then come back and add the main embroidery design to your machine. Alright, so click on the flash drive, go back to Pumpkins and Potions, and I am looking for the Real Spirit block. Am I missing it here? Let me go down. Here it is, Real Spirit. It's thinking. There we go, it woke up. Here we go, Ghosts have the real spirit. That'll be cute. Go ahead and click Set. It brings it in and it's centered and everything. We don't have to do anything to it. We just click Embroidery. And we're ready to go. So let's go back to the hoop cam. Okay, so I've got my purple thread in the top of my machine. Let's put the foot down and let's stitch out the first stitch, which is the placement line for the batting. Here we go. Okay, so now we're going to place the batting down. Any threads off there, I'm going to make sure that we cover that placement line on all sides. Okay, we're ready to go. Put your foot down, keep your fingers away from the moving needle, and let's tack down this batting. Here we go. Okay, so now I want you to take the hoop off the machine and go to a table, and I want you to trim away all of this excess batting on all 4 sides of the stitch line. I'll meet you right back here. Okay, so now we're back. That's trimmed up. Let's put the foot down, leave the same color thread up on top. Now let's stitch out the placement line for the fabric. Okay, so now I'm going to put my fabric down. Go ahead and center it. Make sure you've covered all your placement lines, which this has plenty of fabric to do that. And then I'm just going to feel for the edges of the batting and make sure that I'm pretty well centered, and we're good to go. So I'm going to use the same color thread up on top, and I'm going to tack this fabric down. Here we go. I just want to say a huge thank you to Kimberbell for sponsoring me in this project and for providing the Pumpkins and Potions quilting bundle for me to use in this project. This quilting bundle is amazing. It is definitely something that you can look at in order to enhance this project. It comes with all of these amazing designs. You get a cauldron, you get a spider web, some happy ghosts that look like they have little glasses on. This border is amazing. I cannot wait to show you the borders. And you get this cool pumpkin and ghost and 31 on there. It's just a bunch of fun. So if you're able to get this quilting bundle, it's going to just make your project pop. The borders, I cannot wait. Look at these borders. There's 2 of them, and I'm going to try to incorporate both of them in this project. You get enough files in each of the designs to be able to do any combination of size that you could possibly think of for this project and our other projects. And you also get the block towel sizes for the clear blue towels quilting method as well in each of the designs. So I highly recommend, if you can do this, this is amazing. Please use the link in the description below to purchase the bundle from Kimberbell.com. Nice. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and quilt it in that same purple thread because I want the quilting to blend into my fabric. So choose the color thread you like to do your quilting in, put that up above, put the foot down, and let's enjoy this stitch out. This is a 5-minute in real life stitch out. Here we go. That looks very nice. Okay, so now I need to pick a color thread that's going to go with my next step. Orange thread in the top of my machine. So you choose which color thread you would like to put in the top of your machine based on the color of the fabric that you're going to be using in the next couple stitches here as your background for the applique sign. All right, put that color thread up on top. So let's go ahead and stitch out the placement line. Here we go. Okay, so I have a fun little change here. This is not in the embellishment pack. So this is something that I'm going to stitch in place of my orange fabric. This is an embroidery kind of a vinyl. It has a fabric feel to the back side, and it's going to be super pretty down here. So I am going to get an orange thread. Where's my orange thread? That one. this one I think will work pretty nicely. I had one other one here. No, that's a little bit peachy. So I'm going to use this thread in the top of my machine to stitch this down. You use either your fabric of choice that you have for this step, for the applique, which if you have the kit, I believe it's orange, or whatever fabric you would like to use, or embroidery vinyl that you would like to try out, and we're going to stitch out this step, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and put my orange thread up on top. All right. Okay. Oop. It was not all the way where it needed to be. There you go. Oops. Has to be perfect. There we go. All right, so now I'm going to position this. There, I know it's lined up. It can stitch to where it wants to go, and we'll tack everything down. All right, you ready? Let's go. Foot down, and let's do it. Okay, so now take the hoop off your machine and go to your table, and I want you to trim away the excess fabric, or in my case the excess vinyl, away from the outside of that stitch line, and I'll meet you right back here. Okay, that looks cool. So now I'm going to use the orange thread up above, and I'm going to stitch this next stitch out, which is a satin stitch that goes all the way around the edge to 8-minute and real life stitch out. Here we go. Very nice. Okay, so now I'm going to take the orange thread out, and I'm going to be looking to match my thread collection here that I'm using, because I'm using my own stash. I want to match the thread for the next two steps. If you're using the kit, Kimberbell is using a light beige and a light gray, but I'm not using the kit this time. I'm using my own stash. So I'm looking at something that would blend in nicely with the fabrics that I have in this collection. And I think this teal would go well. There's another teal one. Where to go? Let's look at this end. Here we go. It's kind of a minty green that kind of blends. The green it blends. The teal cats it blends. And the purple blends. So that would be, I think, a matching two-color set that would blend in nicely with the rest of the blocks that are going to be in this project. So you need to pick which two colors you want to do for the next two rows. I think I'm going to do the kind of a teal aqua on the next row, and then the darker purple on the final row. This is my Haunted Mansion quilt. So I think those two would look nice. So I'm going to put the inner border thread in the top of my machine, and you do the same. You pick what colors you would like and load your machine. This is a 4-minute in real life stitch out. It is a thin satin stitch, so it won't be too bad. All right, time wise, because it's like half the size of this one. All right, if you see a loop, make sure you get that out so you don't break a needle or worse. And let's enjoy this stitch out. 4 minutes. Here we go. Okay, that turned out nice. All right, it's going to blend with my fabrics very well. Okay, now I'm going to put this purple up in the top of my machine. Or should I put this purple in? I think this one. This one's a little bit brighter. This is the one I used to quilt the block in. Let's change things up. Let's put a little bit brighter purple in there, all right? You choose the color thread you'd like this next interior row to be, or border, whatever you want to call it. And let's stitch that out. It's also a 4-minute in real life stitch out. Okay, you ready? Let's go. Very, very nice. Okay, this is me from the future here. The reason I just told you about using this embroidery vinyl with the fabric backing is because you need a fabric backing in order for it to be able to stand up to these very tiny satin stitches. This is very close, very tight knit stitches. If you were to use a heat transfer vinyl like we did in the last block with the little witch's hat, it is too thin to hold up to these stitches. And how do I know that? Because I tried it. So what this did is it held up for the outer stitches, but when the machine started doing the tiny stitches, the heat transfer vinyl, this is from my stash, but it's the same as what we used for Kimberbell, for the black hat, it was not able to withstand the intense amount of stitches, so it literally just disintegrated and started to come up because the stitches were perforating the heat transfer vinyl. So don't use heat transfer vinyl if you want to switch out a block like this. You need to use the what I call embroidery leather that has this magical mesh. It's almost like a fusible, but it's built into the vinyl. It's a fabric backing that allows it to literally become a piece of fabric, and then it can withstand those stitches. So heads up, if you want to switch it out like I did, no to the heat transfer vinyl, but definitely a yes to the embroidery vinyl with the cloth backing. And I will put a link in the description below so you'll know on Etsy where I get that. No heat transfer vinyl. Doesn't work. Okay, so that turned out well. Now we need to put a thread up on the top of the machine for the ghost. And ghosts need to be white. So put a white thread up on top and we'll stitch out the ghost. It's about a 5-minute in real life stitch out. You've got this. You're doing a great job and your block is coming out nicely. All right. We're almost done. We've only got the ghost, I think the ghost eyeballs, and then the saying to go. All right. So you've got this. Got a loop. Get the loop out. All right. 5-minute stitch out. Here we go. Yeah, I really kind of like that. It's giving like a 3D effect. I think that's going to be an unintentional little perk here. We'll see what happens when we're all done. But that's kind of cool. Alright, so now I'm going to put a bobbin with black thread in it down below, because we're now going to stitch out the ghost eyeballs and the text. So we want a bobbin with black thread down below, just in case there's any tension issues. The color of thread that would be pulled up would be black with a black thread up on top. So that's your winner there. So go ahead and put bobbin down below and black thread in the top of your machine. And we're going to stitch out the eyeballs. It's only a 1 minute stitch out. It's really quick and easy. If I can get the machine threaded. The big spools I have to go into the back of the machine. You want to keep your thread away from, I call it the spinning wheel on the side of your machine, because that will cause a rat's nest if thread gets caught in that wheel. So I always have a separate thread stand for these larger spools, but it's behind and it's a little challenging to get to, but we can do it. All right, we got the hoop out, or loop out. We got the loop out. So let's put the foot down and let's stitch out the ghost eyes. Okay, so now it's going to do the same. I like that 3D. Ghost, have real spirits. Let's leave black thread up above, foot down, and let's enjoy this stitch out. This is a 10-minute in real life stitch out. Here we go. And then we're done. Okay, I didn't show the stitching of the last 2 lines. Small little parts where I used a black Sharpie pen right on the S's there. And a couple of them down. The V needed help and the H needed a little help there. So a black Sharpie pen is your best friend if it comes to any potential little repairs there or filling in where the black is not showing as well. You can definitely use a black Sharpie. So that looks good. In the future, like I said, the next time we do this, I will definitely have a piece of that water-soluble topping on top, and then we won't have that issue because the stitches won't sink. The stitches will stay on top of the embroidery vinyl. But that looks cool, all right? Okay, so let's take the hoop off the machine. Let's take this over to the table and let's finish up this block. All right, this was a really fun block to make. Make it a little bit different, make it your own. That's cool. All right, so now the last thing we have to do is we have to square this block up. And it's going to be squared up to 8.5 inches by 8.5 inches. So you need to take a look at the outer stitch line, and that's what we're going to do to measure to see if that is our trim up line, which something tells me it is. But let's measure to make sure. So from this stitch line to this stitch line is just a hair under 8.5. Okay, that's good. This stitch line to this stitch line is also just a hair under 8.5. So that's what we're going to use to trim this up. So the first thing I want to do is take my ruler and go to that first stitch line. So my edge is sitting right on it, and then I want to move just a smidgen, just a tiny bit past it, okay? And that's going to be my first cut line. Okay, let's get rid of that. Easy peasy so far, right? Okay, I want you to line up the block on your mat. And 17 and 8.5 would mean my ruler needs to be at 9.5 inches on the mat. Okay, so I'm going to make sure it's 9.5. Make sure this is perfectly straight and that this is 9.5. And I asked myself, can I see the stitches? It's a little dark, so it's a little challenging, so I move it. Okay, yes, I can see the stitches. I'm in the right spot. Everybody's lined up. Lined up. Put the ruler down, and now I can trim. The main reason why I say can I see the stitches is because that allows me to know that I'm in the right spot. If I'm over here with the ruler, the stitch line is over here, that's wrong. I don't want to cut here. I want to make sure that I can see the stitches underneath that ruler edge. That tells me mentally I'm in the right spot. Okay, little trick. So now I'm going to line up the ruler using a ruler line on this edge because this edge is straight. This stitch line straight. I'm now on the stitch line and I'm going to go just a hair past it. Can I see the stitch line under the ruler? Yes. Okay. And now last cut, we're going to line it up with the mat. 17, okay, it'd be 9.5 inches I land on my mat, which is 17 and 8.5. So 9.5, go in reverse. Because my mat goes from 24 inches and then goes this way down to 1. So I have to like subtract my numbers. Okay, so I've lined up this way. I am perfectly lined up that way. And I also want to line it up with a ruler line down here because this edge is now straight. Can I see the stitch line? Yes, I can underneath the ruler. Dun, 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 dun. You did it! Isn't that fun? I love the accent that glitter vinyl gives. That is so much fun. So cool. You did it. Congratulations. So I hope you had as much fun doing this block today as I have. And I hope you stay tuned here on Jolly Molly TV for more fun and more cute blocks in Kimberbell's amazing project, Pumpkins and Potions. And until I see you next time, take care and happy stitching. Bye-bye.